So today, right?
Steel. It's all steel.
It's all about steel. Before we start unloading tractor trailer after tractor trailer of what seems to be a mess all the way around the building, I'm going to show you where it comes from. Capone Iron actually fabricates the whole building about 50 miles from here. So we're going to take a little factory tour. I call it a field trip. You're going to be very impressed with it.
Dad started the business back in the 50s, early 50s. He married with 2 kids, working at a shipyard, working at a gas station, and making wrought iron railings in the basement of his home in Winthrop. And he moved on to open his small iron shop in Everett with my 2 older brothers.
So our project in Marlborough, Mass, the Hyatt is the first building to go up, and that's going to push the schedule of the whole project going forward. So what do we select? We got Capone Iron. I got my buddy Eric here. Eric, so it's done being bid out in drawings, and now it's time, right? Now you're behind because you won the job already. Now you're behind, like day 1.
Yeah, it seems like we're always a little behind. But
Give me the flyover from it comes. You said it comes in there, fabricates here, goes out there, all one big step.
yeah, I mean the idea is positive material flow. Trucks come in on that side of the building, and material is then processed through either the plasma cutter or the drill. It hits benches where I have fitters reading the blueprints and assembling, and then it's checked by me, and welders come along behind and empty the bays of all the welding.
Simple as that.
It is that simple. It's a lot of work, but it is that simple. And it just moves from there to there.
You mentioned tonnage. Is that how you measure jobs?
Yeah, well, it's how we measure everything. You know, more tonnage, more money. So it basically, you know, I think last year we put out 5,750 tons, which for a company our size is pretty good.
Right.
So when we see a job like the Hyatt, I believe that was a couple hundred tons. It's not a huge job for us, but it is a good sized job.
So 6 stories is not a big job for you. It's an okay job.
Yeah, it's a good sized job, but it's not anything massive. We've had some jobs as big as over 2,000 tons in a single job. And
Gotcha.
we do some jobs that are as small as you know, somebody's back porch on their house made of steel.
So I see the raw steel down there, but you also have a tractor trailer back here ready to go. That's going that fast. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if we're working like we should, it should be about a trailer a day at least. Coming through the shop completely fabricated.
Every single day.
If we can help it, if we got the work behind us, yes sir.
Steel, to me, being in the trades, steel is where people get hurt, right?
Oh, it can be dangerous.
Nobody gets hurt doing drywall, let's face it. Right? No, I got you. No. Not a lot of plumbers got killed yesterday, but steel, even here, seems to be the more dangerous end because just things going by, flying by.
Absolutely.
Every single part of it, and Capone's known in the business for safety, and I see them in the field. They've got safety people online. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that don't have that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you keep this part safe? Because there's welders, there's cutters, there's trucks, there's 5-ton lifts going overhead, bringing things back and forth.
I think number one is training. I mean, especially here, we're lucky enough to deal with some youth. We've got some younger guys from local high schools.
Yep.
And you know, I got to keep an eye on them a lot. But just like even somebody green coming in, you got to make sure they're completely aware of everything they're doing and how dangerous it is, especially operating the crane. Like you said, steel, it is dangerous. You could get hurt. So,
yeah, you've got these 5-ton babies going back and forth like there's nothing, and everybody seems to be okay with it. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you know, just got to watch the newer guys and make sure they're doing everything right. It is so simple to get complacent and accidentally knock something over, and it's not like knocking over a piece of drywall.
No. You knock something over here, you're dead. You're absolutely dead.
I broke my own leg when I was younger.
Did you really?
In this industry, and I know a lot of people that have been injured because you just get comfortable and you're not looking, and that's it.
No one falls off a pile of drywall. We used to joke in the field, right? But when you fall off 30 stories high hanging steel,
that's terrifying.
You only get a little time to think about it because you're done. Sorry, it's not an OSHA training video. We're just going over some of the points of how bad steel is. It's all about steel at this point. So not wood, steel. We picked Capone Iron to do the first building, and I show up at their shop, and to see a steel building in 3D CAD spinning around, they're structurally looking at things, they're trying to put the stairways in. This is not for dummies anymore. Steel, buildings requires smart people. If you think any different, you're wrong. This is some heavy steel right here.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. Yep.
And so basically, these are called bolted moments.
Yep.
And the beams have to. They also have holes that would correspond with these. Slide into it, and everything has to be pretty well lined up, or you're not going to get every bolt in there.
Yeah, you're not going to move that around and make it fit.
Absolutely not. No, there is no play in this once it's welded. It is done.
All right, we're heading down to the big fun machines.
It will cut up to 3.5 inches thick steel. And actually, it's accidentally set itself on fire on the internal cabinet before because it's so powerful. It's a stream of molten metal like you've never seen.
So we're still at Capone. Hear what he just said? That plasma cutter can cut a piece of steel 3.5 inches thick. That's absolutely insane.
It is hotter than the sun, I'll tell you that. At the actual
it's like a full gigawatt.
21 gigawatts!
That's what I'm hearing right there.
What it's doing here, it switches. It knows whether it's got the material on one side or the other. So it brings the material in. If it's going to make cuts on the left-hand side, the table rolls away on the left, and then it makes the cuts there. Or vice versa, if it's on the other end of the material, it knows it's on this side, it moves the table out of the way on this side, and then it makes the cuts over here.
He's checking it by hand, even though you just had a robot do it with a computer. He's still checking it.
Just like anything, machines go wrong.
Right.
It has a measuring wheel and a sensor for reading the end of the material. It could have misread something, it could have missent something, and so he's making sure that everything's running properly. He doesn't check 100%, but he checks a lot.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but it is necessary because if you assume that everything's fine and you just keep pumping material out and it's wrong.
We both know there's not a day that everything's fine.
No.
Doesn't matter what business you're in. No.
When it hits go, and then it knows to pull the piece back till it sees the lead end of the material.
Right.
When it does, it knows it's right at the beginning and it knows what to do from there. And then it's pretty much automatic. It does all the other stuff. It automatically feeds it out because it knows the length. It automatically pushes it onto the outfeed table.
We're in New England weather conditions, right? He's not even out there with a bunch of guys. It's pulling it in from the outside. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, doesn't matter. Bring it in, it sets it up. That clamp just put it into place. It looked like you could crush a car, right?
Yeah.
I know it's in place. It's not moving.
It's not moving, no. Yeah, you wouldn't want to get your hand in there. No. But so now basically what the robot does, now that it knows where the lead end is, it sends it out to a certain point using a measuring wheel. It knows exactly how far out it is, and it's going to go touch sense the material. So it knows exactly where the material is, that the material is the right size. If he told that computer that this was a piece of material that should have been 14 by 6,
right, and
it actually was 13 3/4 by 6, it's going to stop and say something's wrong.
It would know.
It knows.
All right, so Capone, they're great. Why did they get the job exactly, though?
You have a lot of people bidding on every aspect of the job, no matter where you are, right? So it's not the cheapest guy, it's not the highest guy. A lot of times it's the middle guy in negotiation. So we seriously look at Capone as one of the safest people that we've ever dealt with in the past, right? So his number doesn't matter for a second because in safety, he gets a high score. Now the number does start to matter, and we have to tweak it a little bit. There's only a few guys that we're totally in love with. When it comes to the important stuff, like steel, there's probably 3 or 4 people that bid this job. They're all qualified, and then you really get picky on who. I fell right back to Capone. I've known them forever. I knew their dad back in the day. We're not going to have a problem with them. Yeah. I hear all the time how steel is expensive, right? Think about what we just did here. Between cutting it, going through the factory, how many people are inside here, putting it on a truck, and about a truck per day, they said, rolls back out there. You're talking about a tractor trailer full of how many tons of steel rolling down a highway. It's winter conditions, there's cranes, to me, steel is inexpensive, not expensive. From that to that to that to a truck to a crane to, hey, go upstairs and sit in your conference room. Boom, just like that.